Is this recording? I never know. Okay, I think it is. All right. What a great start to the video. Okay, so greetings from Chennai. I got some questions. I got 4 questions from NPR that wanted answered. So I'm going to jump into those. They were, why did you want to do the tour? What do you hope will come of it? What details about the logistics of the tour have you learned? And have you had any concerns or surprises? So I'm going to jump in and answer those questions, which I think are great. Why did I want to do the tour? Well, I guess there are 2 answers I could give to that. Sort of, and there's always what something is and what it represents. I forget. This is part of Myers-Briggs type indicator. I don't remember. Like there's certain people who I think it's intuitive and sensing. Sensing people see things for what they are, and intuitive people see things for what they represent. So I think I could look at this tour as what it is, which is really just fun. You know, it's just a fun thing to do. I'm working with 2 comedians whom I really respect and admire, Azhar Usman and Hari Kondabolu. And it's just a fun thing to do. It's an end in and of itself. I get people going, so what is this going to lead to? I'm like, what do you mean what's going to lead to? It's going to lead to this. I mean, like, this is so cool. I don't know that it needs to lead to anything more than just a cool tour with friends. So we're already friends. We're going to become better friends at the end of this, unless we make war instead of chai. And that's it. That's the reason I do stand-up. I mean, people are always like, oh, is there, you know, what is this need for attention or validation? I'm like, I guess I have that, just like everyone else does, but it's just pretty cool to get up and tell people jokes. It's kind of the answer. And we get to travel everywhere. I'm in Chennai. I don't know if you know where that is. People in Michigan love to give you the hand map. I think it's this hand, but it's not. It's sort of disingenuous because there's a whole Upper Peninsula. I know they don't consider it to be part of Michigan. Yoopers or Oopers. Yoopers. I performed there this year. Last year I should have known that, but that's really. It's more like this. For Michigan. This is my hand map for India. I'm so proud for coming up with this. I don't know if anyone else has done this before. There's more than 1 billion. I don't know how many Indians have ever lived. I've always wondered that, like how many people have lived on the planet total. You ever think about that? I think it's like 100 billion. Anyway, if this is India, you really got to hand it to me for this. Because of that. Okay. We're in Chennai, which is down here. We're in Mumbai, yesterday, or actually today we flew down. And we're going to Patna, Durgapur, we're skipping Delhi, we're going to Calcutta, and Bangalore. It's all in there somewhere. Geography is my weak suit. Point is that that's the hand map, and I just want to show that off. Okay, and I guess, okay, so the other reason is like, so that's kind of what the tour is. What it represents sort of leads into that second question of what do I hope will come of it. You know, I mean, I guess the larger thing, we always say that we want to change people's minds and convey a message and not just tell jokes or be taken seriously. But if you want to be taken seriously as a comic, that's when you start to die. Like, you don't want to be taken seriously. You want to make people laugh. That's a good thing, right? But I guess that is good to tap into culture, find what makes people laugh. I have a program called Funny Because It's True where we actually bring in stand-up comedians to help marketers generate insights for their brands. And Azhar has actually helped me with a couple of these programs. And it's just cool to find out what, no matter who they are, whether it's a corporation or it's a country or a company or a community or a church or anything that starts with C, a cruise ship, find out what the people laugh at. And it gives you some insight into the culture. So I think it's pretty cool to extend that on a global scale. But you can't start with that aim. You know, you can't go into something going, we're going to go change the world. Like, it's like, if you go in with that, I think that you won't accomplish that. I think you need to go in and just do your thing, and if by some byproduct you change the world, then great, which of course we want to do. So what details about the logistics of the tour have we learned? Driving is nuts. I've been here, this is my 4th trip to India, but the driving really, you never really totally get used to it. There's a rhythm to how, there's so many things on the road, and when I say things, not just people, but there are cows and there are monkeys and there are chickens, and there really are. There are big buses and there are small scooters and there's 5 people on the same scooter, and it's amazing how close to death everybody lives going down the street. And there's a rhythm to being able to figure it out. It's kind of like walking down the street in New York. Like, it seems like you're going really, really fast. And that's when I found out how fast of a walker I really was, when I was passing people on the street in New York. But there's a rhythm to it. Let's say you don't run into people. And I can't get it down, but that never ceases to amaze me logistically. There's actually, we saw a sign when we landed at Chennai. The sign actually reads, obey traffic signs. That's a law or a rule, reminding you to obey other things of this nature. It reminds me of, I think this is 9th grade, Mr. Gase? How do I even remember this? He had a sign in his classroom that read, ignore this sign. Which, of course, then you never could. It was brilliant. It was totally ironic, and I loved it. And I never saw it anywhere else besides that, so I got to give him a shout out. Anyway, have I had any concerns or surprises? The last question. Yeah, I guess the state of Maharashtra, where Mumbai is, where Bombay is, wanted a transcript of what we were going to say. And we were a little bit surprised by that, and we just said, hey, we're running out of time. Could somebody at the U.S. Embassy or somebody maybe transcribe our videos? We'll send you the links. Can someone write them out? They said, well, we don't have the manpower to do that. And I'm like, okay, well, people are outsourcing jobs like crazy to India, right? There are, when you go to a restaurant, there are 8 people that are taking your order and bringing you stuff, and they're just standing around. There was a guy at the airport when we landed in Bombay, which is BOM, which is kind of dangerous for an airport name, if you think about it. But we landed, and you know, you go in through customs and all that sort of thing, and there was a guy who just like wants to see your passport, and he has his own line and everything. All he's doing is he's taking your passport, and he's looking at it, and you're moving on. It's just a guy. He has no name tag. He has nothing. I'm like, hire that guy. Give that guy. I've got a job for you, man. Why don't you go to the embassy and transcribe her? It's dumb. I don't understand what this guy is doing. I'm having chai. That's pretty cold, actually. Anyway, tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. To fly to Chennai. That's why. Chennai, chai. I don't know. There's no tie-in. I'm just I'm stretching. Oh, okay. Other things. When we got off the plane, my dad actually flew here with me, and when we got off, we're going to go stay with his relatives for the first night. It's really hard to find brown people against the backdrop of other brown people. This is hard. This is a great benefit of being a minority in the States. You know, especially in Ohio, growing up there, you're looking for your family, brown on white, bam. This was nearly impossible. You know, I realized with over 1 billion people in this country, my YouTube views are inflated. So when I only have like 10 views on this video, maybe, that's really sad, because there's like a built-in audience. I'd say that's one thing. And finally, I encountered a guy actually selling maps of India. And he was hounding me. He was like, you know, buy this map, buy this map. I'm not going to do the accent. But he was like, buy this map, buy this map. And I'm like, it's not an impulse buy. I have nowhere to put it. It was just the weirdest thing. Just people trying to sell you random things, like maps of India. It was a good map, and I don't remember where it happened. Maybe I should have bought the map. Okay, that's a good ending. I'm ending right there. Maybe I should have bought the map. Okay. Thank you very much for asking these questions. Hope you enjoyed it. FunnyIndian.com. It's always a good ending, I suppose. Looking forward to this tour.